Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order at 7:01 PM. Please stand for a little pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I have a motion to approve tonight's amended agenda?
I move to approve the amended agenda as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The agenda is approved. Presentations, proclamations, and visitors. Are there any members on Zoom or in the audience? Nope, no members signed up. Consent agenda. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I did make some amendments and changes. Ron has them already.
You got it.
It's
For the
really,
minutes.
there's Scrivener errors, so we can.
Yeah, we can do that.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There are no public hearings this evening. There is no old business. Moving on to number 6, new business. Third Street Improvement Project Agreement will now invite staff to provide information.
All right, Matt Etzel, Assistant Public Works Director. This is probably like the third time you guys have seen this. It's for the small city allotment grant. This is the full, you got the bid package, which is part of the contract, and now you have in front of you the contractor's information with their bond and that sort of thing. So, as procedure, we bring contracts to you guys for review and approval. If there are any questions, happy to answer them. Our city engineers have already reviewed these, and so they're good and ready for signatures, so.
Anything
so-
changed since the last 3 times we talked about it?
Nope.
No. I didn't see.
So
any changes.
just for the record, so council knows, this is a Third Street project. We received a $250,000 grant from Small City Allotment, which we received last year. And the total project, I believe, is $424,000 and a little change. The remainder of the funds will come from our street improvement fund. And as council knows, there's money set aside for this project in there.
And there are no questions? Is there a motion?
I move to approve the contract with D&D Concrete and Utilities as presented by staff.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to 6B, sewer cleaning and TV inspection proposals.
All right, so we did TV'd and cleaned half of the wastewater collection system last year. It's a DEQ requirement that we TV and inspect our collection system for leaks and infiltration. So we're on about a 5-year cycle. So the idea is that we did half last year, half this year, and then we can start with any repairs that are need to be made after that. We've got 3 bids. They were the same 3 contractors that bid last year, and actually the price came in about $13,000 less than last year. So that's a positive. It's about the same amount of footage that needs to be TV'd and cleaned. So pretty confident with the bids. We've had the contractor do the town before, so they're familiar with the area and we're familiar with their work and we think they do a good job, so.
Yeah.
Questions, happy to answer.
Are there any questions?
No.
Is there a motion?
Move to approve the proposal by Dick Welker Construction, Inc. for the 2024 sewer cleaning and TV in the amount of 55,200 from Fund 019-604 inflow and infiltration as presented by staff.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to 6C, auditor agreement. We'll now invite staff to provide information.
Mayor, Council, for the record, I'm Ron Harding, City Administrator. This contract, or it's basically an outline of scope of work from our auditors, is coming before you tonight because it's a little over our threshold that we don't typically bring things to council for. We're already scheduled for the audit, but we haven't actually signed the agreement yet because we wanted you to see it. Now, we did have expectations that our audit costs would go up this year, as council discussed this during our budget session. It's actually went up about $7,000 for audit services this year. Our auditors are the same auditors we've been using, so we went through an RFP process and typically we just renew the contract each year. The contract's really set up, other than the scope of work and the cost, is set up to reoccur or reapprove every year automatically. But because the cost went up above our $25,000 threshold for personal services, we wanted to come to council and make you aware of it and get a motion to approve. So what's not listed in this scope of work would be any what we call single audits that are required from some of our federal grants. Those would be a separate cost, and once they get in and start doing our full fiscal year audit, I think they'll determine if a single audit is required. And then what the scope of work on that would be, it depends on the grant, and we'd come back to council with that.
Are there any questions? Is there a motion?
I move to approve the scope of work with, gotta get back to their name.
Tabs here, so it's really hard to follow along with what's what.
Well, it's Grover, Mueller, and Swank.
Yeah, I just couldn't remember which order. Thank you. As presented in by Grover Mueller and Swank.
Second. Oh.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously.
Just so for your purposes, it is a little confusing because they merged with another firm, which is this one that you see here.
Red W.
I think it's just like an acronym or something.
Mhm.
But that's how they're sending all their documents forward, so.
I know why it's confusing.
There's just, I don't have the sheet here.
There's the motion, the staff report for the motion is not in the book.
We didn't put a staff report in just because it's a basic contract, so there wasn't really a lot of history to put into a staff report. It's just a simple motion. You can approve us to execute the contract, or you don't make a motion if you don't want to approve it. But it's our normal auditors, but just because of the fact that the price increased $7,000 and it kind of pushed us over that threshold, we felt as a contract for you board, you had to at least bless it. So.
Moving on to 6D, developer.
Did we get a motion?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all
Okay.
done.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
Scott passed it. Scott said.
Okay,
Della first, Scott second, passed unanimously.
okay, great.
Moving on to 6C, developer agreement. It doesn't say,
Again, this is something that we basically, you guys talked about in your work session. We brought this forward at the last, I believe, council meeting to discuss as part of my report. This is just the formalized agreement. The city would lead this project. This is a fill in the gap project on Main Street. So city engineer, city staff would lead the project. We'd get all the permits. We'd oversee the construction. The only thing this agreement does is it obligates the property owner to two things: a $36,000 cost share for the project, and pedestrian easement for all the new sidewalk areas. And those are the two things that it obligates them for. So basically, we're just getting you to agree to those terms as outlined. Nothing's really changed with the project. City engineers going out to do 3 informal bids. That's underway right now. And if the cost comes in well above where we estimate that it will, the contract also gives the city the opportunity not to do the project. So if we so choose to. So if it came in well above what we had budgeted, we'd come back to council for approval.
I do remember the discussions. I have no questions. Does anyone else have any questions?
And again, it was kind of last minute. There's not a lot of history. You've got the history, so we just thought it's a simple motion.
Is there a motion?
I move to approve the developer city construction agreement between the city of Aumsville and IMHOF Family Trust.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to city administrator report, Ron Harding.
So I don't have a lot to report. It's all things Corn Festival this week. As you know, we're all hands on deck for Corn Festival. So we're putting all the preparations together for that event. All indications it's going to be bigger and better than ever. So we have well over 100 vendor spots assigned, which is more than we've ever had. We've got a great group of sponsors. I ordered the corn and the corn supplier said it will be delivered. And so other than that, we have the skating in Mill Creek Park on Thursday evening. Friday, we'll start off with the car show and then we'll do the music on Main. Everything seems to be in order for those events. And then, of course, Saturday, the parade. We've got lots of entries. I don't have a number for you, but I will tell you that pre-registration is as high as I've ever seen it. So it should be a great parade. The weather's not going to be extremely hot. So I think it's going to be a great year.
What time is the roller skating? I haven't really seen a lot of things online for it.
5 to 8, I think.
I believe it starts at 5. Yeah, it's 3 hours. Yeah. And we've got an event listed. People are signed up to it, but we've blasted it a few times and we've done some promoting through, the Facebook promotional stuff. So
It's an algorithm thing. I'm pretty sure it's just not showing up on I'm not saying it's not there. I just haven't seen it.
I don't know how that stuff works. It cycles through, but
I've been activated on state active duty for the fires, so I'm gonna try to attend all the events. So if you don't care, you know what I'm doing.
so just so
Oh, thank
council's
you.
aware, the skating event, we hire a vendor.
Yeah.
So all we do is sweep the parking lot. I think we give them some cones. Other than that, they do everything. So
I went last year and they were, unfortunately, it was like working right in the middle. So I went right at the beginning and then I went right at the end and they were so happy to see
Yeah.
somebody from the city down there. So I actually am scheduled off
yeah,
after 5 o'clock. I made sure to make sure I have nothing on my schedule. But yeah, if you guys just going down and dropping in and saying hi.
Yep.
When we do those things, they're just so happy to see us.
In a skate?
No. No.
I'll go if you skate.
No, that is not a sight we want to see. I have arthritis in my hip now, so I can't. Sorry, guys.
I will sacrifice and attend Music on Main for the good of the group.
If Scott shows up, I will record Scott skating.
And that again.
Fake too. See, we can't do it. Somebody else
I
has.
do have to sign a release, but anyway, people seem to like it. So, and then, of course, Saturday will be free hot corn after the parade. We'll have corn sales. We've kept the price the same this year because it is kind of one of our draws. As time goes on, we're gonna have to reevaluate that because the cost keeps going higher and higher, but we've got a good group of sponsors and all indications are we're gonna have a great year, so.
Awesome.
And I'd answer any questions, but we're just kind of, this week is a blur where we were doing vendor placement today. We hope all that's gonna work out. Food trucks are gonna come in on Friday. Bagging will be done on Friday. And then we'll be doing final setup and preparation on Friday, and then Saturday will be most of the single tent vendors, so to speak, and it doesn't take them that long to set up, so. And then we do have the carts for council. They'll be up at the parade route ready to go for you. If I'll be using one in the morning, so if it turns out you're not going to need more than 6 passenger seats, I'll probably keep it down there, but if we need more, just to make everybody comfortable, I'll run it back up for the parade. So you may need 1 driver or 2 drivers.
Need lots of candy,
I have
so we
it.
don't run out. Good.
I will have it there.
Yeah.
Nice to not run out.
I bought 8 bags of candy. So the princesses are gonna get some. But I'm hoping that you don't run out of candy.
Yeah.
Yeah. The princesses will each take a bag and then you guys can divvy up however you want, so.
I will have it at the church, so when you get down there, you just need
Yeah.
to see me.
Della gets everything for the parade and takes it down there, so. Have to go.
Find her.
And for those of us that want to
I'm not
help,
hard to
we
find.
just
I got a bright
show
yellow
up
vest.
and say, where can I help?
Well, Della's kind of in charge of volunteers, so see Della if you want to help volunteer in the morning, but typically, the mayor and council do the judging of the floats and entries, and we usually start that around 9:30.
Yep.
Della has all of the judging forms and the trophies, and she'll have the cash dollars. And so just see her to get all of that at 9:30. Typically, Mayor, if you're there, you lead that because I think there is one that's like a mayor's choice in the entries. And then you guys can present those by 10:30.
I usually present them and take pictures.
Yeah.
But they're with me, so
Okay,
just to make sure I get the pictures.
get
for
pictures,
the
yes.
Newsletter.
Yeah.
Otherwise, somebody has a fit with me.
A couple of things that are different this year. We have the free pony rides again for kids. There'll be free pony rides, the little ponies. We had a sponsor for those, and we try to provide some free activities sprinkled amongst vendors so that some families that can't afford to do everything can do some stuff. And then
We have the Cascade Cheerleader Camp performing.
we've got the
From
cheerleader
12 to
camp
1.
performing after that. They're going to start right at 12. or
12 to 1.
Yep.
And then the other gal starts at, 12:50. And then she starts at from 1 to 3 with the music.
Yep, we'll have music on the stage. There'll be the games that'll start at 1 and go until 4. That'll culminate with the corn eating contest, I believe.
What time are you bagging corn on Friday? Is it Friday or Thursday?
Yeah, Friday, we start bagging around 9 AM. Usually the corn gets there by 8:30. And that's right behind Mods. And so we've got a nice little bagging set up there. And as good of a system I think as we can come up with to bag 12 tons of corn.
I took all of Friday off, so I'm
Oh.
at your disposal.
Well, put on your t-shirt and come on down. So we're hoping to have a good turnout again for Friday for bagging, and then Saturday we've got volunteers sprinkled throughout the day, but
And Bethel Baptist has cookies, lemon water, coffee and bathrooms if you're
Yep.
down at the parade set up and need any of those.
and
Breakfast, there's also,
breakfast
Yeah,
at the fire
fire.
station before the parade. Yes, there's so many activities those 2 days. For you that if you're not already signed up to volunteer council and you want to volunteer, obviously Friday after 9 is the bagging event, and usually that goes until noonish or so. And then on Saturday after the parade, just come on down. You may be shucking corn, you may be handing out corn. We'll find, an activity for you to do if you want to be as active or non-active as you like, and throughout the day. And you don't have to stay all day, just come and take a station. We did change it up a little bit this year as far as our process. I think it's going to work out a little bit better. Some from feedbacks council gave us. So we've got a self-buttering station. In years, it's been, we do liquid butter and we wrap those, and then some of that butter leaks out. And then people are like, well, I don't feel like I got enough butter. And we didn't really have a way to have them go back through the process. So this year is going to be a self-buttering station. We're going to wrap the corn, and then we're either going to have somebody stationed at the buttering station that'll put it on their cob, or they'll do it themselves, depending on the number of volunteers. But we think that'll be a little bit cleaner. And then we start the corn process at 9 o'clock. So we start cooking at 9, and we wrap the corn in food grade foil, and then we put it in coolers, and that keeps the corn at temperature until we serve it. So it can stay in there for 4 or 5 hours and stay at temperature. And that's how we have been able to not have such a long delay in getting people corn. Usually they can come up and we're processing the corn faster because we get that big jump for a few hours.
did we, and I'm assuming we did we invite any of our other community leaders, county legislative?
Yeah, we invited our grand marshals to hand out corn, and some of our sponsors like to do that. And, we've told them to come, and we'll rotate people in and out of those stations as they show up. Our senator, I believe, and our representative Deal, I think both Senator Gerard and Representative Deal are not in town during that time. So I think we heard back from them that said that they couldn't make it. And we also are doing something different where we're going to have a radio station. We've been advertising leading up to the event, and the radio station is going to do a on-site broadcast from 2 to 4. And so there may be an opportunity where, Mayor, I think we've got you set to go over and talk to them and do a little interview, but council members, if you want to get on there, they'll do 3 or 4 or 5 interviews during that time. You're welcome to. You're welcome to go over there and tell them how fabulous the corn is. Otherwise, I'm happy to answer any questions. I think it's going to be a good event. I think hopefully everything goes well.
I'm excited.
The more volunteers, the merrier, I guess.
Moving on to mayor and councilor reports. Does anyone have anything they would like to report?
At MWAC, they reported that they will awarded the Kubler Boulevard to Delaney, adding a 3rd lane for slow trucks, and it was awarded to K&E Excavating, and they will be starting in September. And it's a 1.5-year project because they will be widening the overpass over Battle Creek so that it will in the future accommodate 4 lanes each way. So they are getting a little smarter about their planning. So it will be slow for a while going through there, but in the end, it should be much faster and less slow down, especially when you're coming northbound on it from Corvallis area up. And they awarded to HP Civil the Aurora Donald interchange phase 2B. And they will be starting in October or so on that one.
Anything for good of the order?
Not sure if this falls under it, but I want to give a huge shout out to Chief Flowers and Officer Robinson for making National Night Out pretty amazing, especially for the West Side having our first host by Hernandez.
I went to the fire department for the first time. I didn't, like, I knew they've done things, but they had a really good turnout. So. Correspondence. There is one correspondence on file in our packet from Aumsville Rural Fire Department. They thank us very much for the donation of the Chevy Tahoes. There is no executive session, and if that is all, we can go ahead and adjourn the meeting at 7:28 p.m.